If you want to work in crypto and you don't want to give 30 to 50% of your income to a government that does little for you in return, and if the idea of living in Latin America excites you, then this video is for you. I'll be ranking every country in Latin America based on how crypto friendly they are. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hi, my name is Tristan. I am the Yonderpreneur. I help people learn to live more geographically and financially free lives, turning them into sovereign citizens. In this video, we're going to go over how every country in Latin America treats crypto, and I will give you my crypto country tax tier list. If you are looking for information on one specific country, check the timestamps in the description. And remember, this is based on doing things properly and legally, because I know how easily forgettable crypto taxes can be in Latin America. Argentina, low tax. First on the list is Argentina. With the new libertarian president, Javier Milei, Argentina has gone from banning Bitcoin to fully embracing it. Under the previous administration, Argentina faced hyperinflation, which is just the worst form of inflation if you did not know. People in Argentina were looking for alternative ways to save and store their wealth, and it just so happened that crypto was one of those ways. The government in Argentina tried to ban crypto, trapping its own citizens in the rapidly devaluing currency, which they caused in the first place. But with Milei in power now, crypto is once again free in Argentina. Laws have been passed in Argentina that allow contracts and payments to be made in cryptocurrencies. However, it is not legal tender yet in the country. And if you report less than $100,000 in crypto in Argentina, it will go untaxed. And with only a 15% tax, anything above $100,000. So Argentina has rapidly become a very favorable place for crypto investors. Brazil, medium tax. Next we have Brazil, the largest country in Latin America. And despite its less than pro-business friendly government, Brazil is actually not a terrible place for crypto investors. Crypto income in Brazil is treated as capital gains with a progressive tax rate that caps out at 22.5%, and the overall income tax maxes out at 27.5%, which is fairly reasonable on a global scale. So Brazil earns itself the medium tax ranking. Colombia, high tax. Now, let's talk about Colombia. Like many countries in Latin America, Colombia has not set out any guidelines or tax laws or frameworks regarding crypto. If you want to stay compliant with the tax man in Colombia, your crypto earnings will be treated as an income, with tax rates ranging from 35% if you make over 100,000 US dollars. If you make over 237,000 US dollars, you're looking at a tax rate of 37%, and 39% if you make over 388,000 US dollars. Overall, Colombia is not so friendly when it comes to taxes, especially on your crypto. Peru, high tax. Next is Peru. Like Colombia, Peru does not have any official frameworks, taxes, or regulations for crypto. So any crypto gains in Peru will be taxed as a regular income, with a high tax rate of 30% if you make over 85,000 US dollars. That puts Peru in a high tax bracket, making it quite unfriendly for crypto investors. Venezuela, high tax. Venezuela is up next. Given the country's current state, it is difficult to discern how crypto is treated in the country, especially because they tried and failed at using their own central bank digital currency called the Petro. Having a reliable internet access can also be a challenge in Venezuela, making crypto transactions a little bit more difficult than they already are. But if you want to do things by the book in Venezuela, expect a 34% tax considered as income on your crypto gains. Therefore, Venezuela lands itself in the high tax bracket. Ecuador, high tax. Now, let's talk about Ecuador. I spent a month there in 2023, and it is a very beautiful country. It's just not very friendly for crypto investors. Ecuador uses the US dollar as its national currency, and if you make over 100,000 US dollars in income, In Ecuador, you are paying a 37% tax. However, there is a territorial tax rule in Ecuador that allows for some loopholes. When you're bringing in money from another country into Ecuador, if it was already taxed in that country at 14% or higher, then when you bring it into Ecuador, it is tax-free. Despite this little loophole, the headline tax rate in Ecuador is still 37%, which is quite high. Paraguay, low tax. Paraguay is a little bit of a hidden gem for crypto investors. There is no official oversight from the government for crypto, but the country does have a thriving Bitcoin mining industry due to the low electricity costs from its major hydroelectric dams. Paraguay does impose a 10% tax on crypto mining and a 10% capital gains tax. Plus, Paraguay is a territorial tax nation. So if you're bringing in income from abroad, it is taxed at 0%. All in all, Paraguay is a very low tax nation in Latin America for crypto investors.
That's pretty good.
Chile, high tax. Moving on to Chile, like many countries in Latin America, Chile doesn't have any specific regulations for cryptocurrency. All crypto income, whether it's from mining, staking, selling, airdrops, or whatever else it may be, is taxed as regular income. For someone making $100,000 a year, the tax rate is 30.4%, and it will jump to 40% if you are earning over $300,000 in Chile. This is landing Chile in the high tax bracket. Uruguay, low tax. Uruguay is an interesting case. While there are no specific regulations for crypto, mining and staking are taxed as income, but selling crypto is considered a capital gain and is taxed at 12%. Uruguay is also a territorial tax country, so if you're bringing income in from abroad, it can be taxed at 0% if structured properly. With its relatively low taxes and territorial system, Uruguay lands itself in the low tax bracket. Bolivia, low tax. Next on the list is Bolivia, one of two landlocked countries in South America. Bolivia is complicated. Crypto was banned up until recently, and while there is no clear framework for how crypto is treated in Bolivia, it is safe to assume it would be treated as income, taxed at 13%. Bolivia is also another territorial tax country in South America, so foreign source income is taxed at 0%. However, Bolivia does have something called a wealth tax that is applied on all assets. This wealth tax will be charged on your assets on a yearly basis. It is between 1.4 and 2.4%, depending on value of your assets. This is a very frustrating tax for most capitalists because you cannot tax an asset when the value is fluctuating. Therefore, you have really no cash to tax. So Bolivia is a so-so friendly country for crypto, but due to its low headline tax rate, it is a low tax bracket. Mexico.
You boys like Mexico? Yeah!
High tax. Surprise, surprise. Like many other countries on this list, Mexico does not have a clear tax framework for how cryptocurrencies are treated in the country. So you can assume that they will just tax your crypto as an asset. Therefore, you will be subject to capital gains on your crypto. If you are earning over $100,000, you will be hit by a 35% tax in Mexico. This puts Mexico in the high tax category for crypto investors. Honduras, medium tax. Let's talk about Honduras. The government hasn't made any special laws or frameworks for crypto, so it is just taxed as income most likely. Honduras taxes all income over $20,000 at 25%. Interestingly, there's a special economic zone in Honduras on the island of Roatan. This special Prospera economic zone has actually made Bitcoin legal tender in the area. So Bitcoin may not be recognized by the government of Honduras, it is still accepted in this one specific spot. Anyways, Honduras earns itself a medium tax bracket. Guatemala, low tax. Guatemala is another country without any specific crypto regulations. Despite some harsh criticism from the government of Guatemala, Crypto is not banned and is widely used still in Guatemala. Crypto gains would be treated as capital gains, and that has a tax rate of 10%. Guatemala is also a territorial tax country, meaning foreign income will not be taxed at all. So despite hard words from the government, Guatemala is actually an excellent tax home for crypto investors. Nicaragua. High tax. Next up is Nicaragua. Like its Central American peers, Nicaragua has not made any clear tax laws regarding cryptocurrencies. However, if your crypto gains are sourced inside of Nicaragua, be prepared to pay a 30% tax. However, the country is another territorial tax country, so if you're bringing income in from abroad, it will be taxed at 0%. But for video simplicity, that 30% local tax will put Nicaragua in the high tax category. Panama, low tax. Panama is famous for the Panama Canal and the Panama Papers scandal, but it is also a very favorable destination for crypto investors. While crypto might not be legal tender in Panama, you can use it for transactions. Panama considers all crypto as foreign sourced income, which is taxed at 0%. However, if you do have some crypto earnings from crypto mining within Panama, that would be subject to a 15% tax. Panama's very flexible system gives it a very low tax rating. Fun fact, Panama also doesn't have its own currency and uses the US dollar, similar to Ecuador. I also spent 2 months in Panama in 2023, and it is a really fun place. I definitely recommend checking it out. El Salvador, 0% tax. Next is El Salvador. If you are on Twitter, X, you probably are aware that El Salvador was the very first country to make Bitcoin legal tender. Foreign income in El Salvador is taxed at 0%, and other crypto earnings inside the country are also taxed at 0%, and you can buy almost anything inside the country using Bitcoin. Other cryptocurrencies in El Salvador are kind of existing in this weird gray zone, but for now, you can just use Bitcoin and you will have a very good time. El Salvador is a clear winner for crypto investors. Costa Rica, low tax. Now we head to the beautiful Costa Rica, one of the most visited countries in all of Latin America. While Costa Rica has not made crypto legal tender, it has classified it as a capital gain. So when you sell your crypto for a profit, you will have to pay a capital gain on that profit. If you make an income more than $8,000, it is taxed at 25%. However, Costa Rica is another one of these territorial tax countries in Latin America. Therefore, if you have foreign sourced income, it is taxed at 0%. So although that 25% tax rate would earn it a medium on the tax score, we're going to give it a low tax score just because of that nice territorial tax-free money. The Dominican Republic, low tax. The Dominican Republic, one of 2 island nations in Latin America, the Dominican Republic hasn't provided much framework, laws, or rules for crypto, like many other countries on the list. Also, the Dominican Republic is another one of these territorial tax countries. So therefore, when you bring in foreign income into the Dominican Republic, it is taxed at 0%. For local sourced income though, in the Dominican Republic, it is taxed at 25%. So this is basically an identical system to Costa Rica. And for the same reasons that we gave Costa Rica a low score, we give Dominican Republic a low score as well. Cuba, very high tax. Finally, we have Cuba. Now this is an interesting one. The Cuban government hasn't mentioned crypto at all, probably because it is too busy working on its beautiful socialist utopia. With limited internet access in the country, crypto is challenging in Cuba. Theoretically though, crypto would be taxed at Cuba's income tax, which is 50%, making it very unfriendly for crypto investors. But I feel crypto investors would just have difficulty doing anything involving crypto on the island in the first place. However, if Elon Musk's Starlink ever was able to provide access to the internet freely in Cuba, things could get very interesting there. But for now, Cuba remains in the high tax not so fun place for crypto investors. Overall, besides Brazil and Honduras, most countries in Latin America either end up in one or two camps. They're either really good or they're not so good. So what do you think of my list? Did I miss anything? Were there any countries in there that you would want me to take a deeper dive into? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know if you like this type of video. If you do, I'll try and make more videos like this for other regions of the world. But for now, like and subscribe, and I appreciate you very much. See you in the next one.